it's probably something like 1 out of 6 or 7 of my videos at this point talk about being a vegan. I am a rare demographic in that I'm a male American vegan. There's not a lot of us, but I've been a vegan for over 5 years because it stopped the health problems that I had for a decade or two, like dyshidrotic eczema all over my hands, couldn't breathe out of this out of my nose for 2 decades, had constant sinusitis, was allergic to animals, had a bunch of headaches all the time. All that went away when I became a vegan over 5 years ago, and that's my motivation. But someone recently on another one of my videos, they had suggested, because I made a video saying, are there certain nationalities, certain nations, certain people groups or whatever that are more likely to choose to be vegan by default? And one of the comments I got in there was suggesting that maybe part of it is in a nation like the United States of America, where there's such an issue with obesity. Where, what is it, am I right about this? That 6 out of 10 Americans are overweight, So we have a fast food culture, and it's the norm that people will go through the drive-through and get all the saturated fat and sodium and sugar and all that stuff. That's normal here. So is there a part of me, as a secondary reason, a secondary motivation to be a vegan, is part of it that I want to disassociate myself from that culture? And the answer would have to be yes, if I'm being honest. I'm motivated by knowing that I'm not part of the mainstream in that way. For me, it's so predictable that if you are eating too much meat and too much sugar, you're going to increase your chances of colon cancer, cancer in general, onset diabetes. It's so preventable, but yet I think especially older generations in America still don't understand that, and they blame it on other things. And I'm like, no, while I'm still fairly young, I want to make sure I'm doing everything I can to prevent that when I'm older, because I don't want to work hard my whole life, retire, and then my retirement plan is diabetes or cancer. I don't want that. To me, that's a predictable American predicament we've got ourselves in because of our fast food culture. And it's interesting in America because it's so easy to become overweight or obese, but it's also so easy to be vegan. We've got access to either or here in America. So I think definitely it's part of my identity that I don't want to be the person who's 65 years old and now I start taking shots. I'm overweight and I'm obese and I've got all these health problems. I got to take all these pills. I'm 37 and I'm thinking about that now, and I've been thinking about it for years. It's something my dad instilled in me when I was a kid. I remember we were stopping for gas, and I asked him if I could have a candy bar, like a Snickers bar, and he let me. And then I turned to him and I said, I've never seen you eat a candy bar, have you? And he's like, I guess the last time I did was maybe when I was a kid. But my dad, even in the 80s, was thinking this way. And I think it probably it left an impression on me that I would think the same way. That I would think if everybody else is getting sick and having these health problems that are preventable because of what they're eating, and I can make a choice, even if it is a pretty extreme one, to largely have control over something that so many people see as uncontrollable, then let me do that. Let me give up all meat, eggs, and dairy, and instead only eat vegetables and fruit and beans and grains and nuts and seeds, and let all my health problems that I had go away. What are your thoughts on that? The concept that in theory I'm sort of rebelling against American mainstream society and that I'm a vegan, trying to be separated from the fast food culture. What do you think right here?